Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. It doesn't matter when you're watching this, it just matters that you are watching us. Today we're going to be accompanied by the little one. Only because if he is put down, we're not going to be able to have these videos put out. And I procrastinated long enough. Today's video, I just want to love you. Today's video is going to be about how to take a loss. Now, most people don't necessarily know how to do so. And that's okay. That is fairly okay. And that is why you were watching this video. I don't want to get bitch slapped again. Believe it or not, there's a more easier way of doing this and learning this process versus actually learning this shit the hard way. But again, believe it or not, there's people out there that will not want to go ahead and learn this the right way. Those people either A, get humbled by the market and say this shit is fake, or B, lose all their money and say this shit is fake. But nonetheless, you get the fucking shit. You get the picture. Picture being is they suck at following rules, while knowing there are rules. Why? Because if you're watching this, you have been you're under the understanding and knowledge that there are rules to this shit that you need to fucking follow. Any woozy woozies. Moving on. Doing the complete opposite, I could guarantee you, will not go ahead and benefit you anything within trading. And I could guarantee you, if you do this shit in your real life, don't implement how to take a loss properly. If you don't do this shit properly in real life, you probably don't have much of anything to your name. And what I mean by that is not even just materialistic shit, but I promise your moral setting, your goal settings probably suck. Fight me. Challenge me in the comment section. I'm there. Read what the other motherfuckers want to go ahead and say. Go ahead. I'm quick with it. Any woozy woozies. In order to... I'm telling you, I'm with it too. I'm so with it. Now, the way that I've gone... Can you change his diaper? Bye-bye. Sorry, you got a diaper change. Or he needed a diaper change. The one way that I myself have found to take a loss is only by video game playing. I mean, majority of my learning came from video gaming, but nonetheless, I gotta make sure I don't fucking start this over again. Nonetheless, I have learned the bare basics of it through video gaming. Now, majority of you can relate, and majority of you can probably relate to what I'm about to say next, which is the one video game, I wouldn't say that taught me this, but really challenged the ideas and lessons that I've learned and put them into action, which would have been Elden Ring. Elden Ring went ahead and kicked my ass up and down, left to right, straight into Sunday. There was no ifs about it. The only way for me personally to go ahead and get good at the game was to continue tackling the exact same boss that continued to beat my ass over and over and over and over again with just small hopes of getting better. Now, as any of you know, and if you were good enough to get your ruins back, throughout the time of you getting your butt beat by the bigger boss, there are going to be times where you're going to get your ass beat by the smaller enemies that are about Elden Ring. Throughout that process, you are not only leveling up, but you're also learning to take a loss. I don't know about you, but me personally, I sense that. To be honest, I was one of those hard-headed motherfuckers that just rolled into the game thinking I had a big-ass fucking dick and wouldn't have it be smacking the ground left, right into Sunday and have it still be looking good. I really was that motherfucker until the game humbled me enough for me to understand one of two things. One, I either have to continue on with the way that I'm doing this and only progress in small increments, or B, level up enough. Sorry. Continuing tackling the same enemy over and over and over and over and over again in hopes to level up. Now, throughout this time, I wasn't really thinking about the loss process, but taking those challenges over and over and over and over and over again ultimately had me win the victory. Now, I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I would like to go. I do this with anything. It's even in my day-to-day life. I would beat the boss and see where I did good. See where I did good and see where I could improve on for the next time. That within itself went ahead and taught me again how to take a loss, because not only am I growing the habit of trying to learn to do better, but I'm also taking the action to do it. And I really stress doing it. Fucking doing it. Just learn how to go ahead and take a loss, because when you go ahead and implement all this shit into day trading, you won't be the person that stumbles over their foot left and right and think that day trading is a scam. You would be that person with a more structured mindset and a more structured model that will help you mitigate the losses in day trading, because then ultimately that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to prevent the losses from happening so that way you're able to go ahead and continue on trading for another day. But not only that, you're also trying to apply the risk management, but risk management is also trying to be hinted at through this. Wink, wink. Let me give you some sauce. You don't want your losses to be so big to the point where you're not able to go ahead and trade for another day. Because ultimately, our jobs as traders is to manage money. And if you can't manage money properly or manage anything properly, you're not going to be able to thrive in this shit. Until you ultimately come up with these one of two paths that you got to go ahead and take, and that's quitting because thinking this shit is fake, or actually challenging yourself enough to continue on further. But you also ultimately have to take the fucking loss to get to where you need to be. But you don't have to go ahead and take so many losses if you learn how to do things the right fucking way. It really is just that simple. It really is just that fucking simple. You just ultimately get the fuck out of your own path, get the fuck out of your own way, and just do the things that you know you're supposed to do. Because ultimately, if you don't do the things that you know you're supposed to fucking do, shit doesn't work well for you. Shit is not gonna fucking work well for you. Let me use this as an example. Let me use the past 2 days as an example. Although I've been posting my shorts on YouTube, I've been seeing a little bit of progression from that. I know with these videos, I could probably be getting more people within the channel to be subscribing versus what I'm doing now, half-assing this shit and just thinking shit's gonna fly. Shit's not gonna fly unless shit gets fucking done. Sauce for you guys. Sauce. Now, once you've gone ahead and have the understanding that taking a loss is not easy. Once you're able to understand that losses in this game are going to happen. They're going to fucking happen. I need to repeat this again, and I can't stress this enough. They're going to fucking happen. Because why? One of two things are going to happen. You can't get out of your own fucking way to the point where you cannot do this shit properly, or B, you're able to you're able to get out of your fucking way, do this shit properly, but then handle the small, or not, I'm sorry. You're able to then be able to go ahead and not have so many losses be put on the table. Why? Because you know how to take a loss. You also know how to prevent it. How do we go ahead and preventing the loss? Well, straight up, like I've been saying, follow the model. Follow whatever model that you're trying to achieve and work towards. Don't go from one model to the next model to the next model and fuck, this model doesn't work, fuck, that model sucks. Stick to one model and work with it. Ultimately, on top of that, you need to go ahead and see that that there is proof within the pudding with that model, and then implement it for yourself. Mimic what the other trader is doing. If it is working well for the other trader and they are showing how they are doing it, mimic it. Because ultimately, it's working for a fucking reason. It's working for a fucking reason. At the end of the day, you got to go ahead and figure out what that reasoning is and how it's working. Because this person is already figured it the fuck out. This person is doing the things that you're refusing to fucking do. And that is follow the model. The second way that you could go ahead and avoid taking a loss is having faith within yourself. Because ultimately, if you allow the losing days to compound and get worse, it will fuck with your psychology. And at the end of the day, you probably don't want to do this anymore. How do I know? Because I've been at that point. Don't believe me? Go watch the fucking video that says I almost quit day trading. And then within that video, go learn how to get over it. But ultimately, I say pretty much the same thing now that I'm going to say then. And that is, you have to have faith within your model and yourself. If you lose faith within yourself, I can guarantee you the model isn't going to fucking do anything for you. Why? Because from there on out, you have chosen to A, just say fuck it and just don't believe in yourself anymore, and B, you refuse to put one foot in front of the other to see the next fucking step. You are now just stagnated. But in order to prevent that from happening, you can just do the things that you're supposed to do, follow the model, and then with you following the model, it will give you small confidence and belief in yourself, and at the same time, you will then believe in your model. I don't know about you, but that right there is a domino effect to me. That falls beautifully. Now, the way to go ahead and lose faith or to lose sight of this is to continue to do the things that ultimately end you up in the exact same place in hopes that things will get better. Some people call that insanity, and they're right for that. But doing the exact same things over and over and over and over and over again in hopes that shit's gonna change isn't gonna fucking change anything. You ultimately gotta do something differently to have a different outcome. If you're not following the model, what you should do is follow the model. If you don't get the model, what you should do is practice the model. If you can't necessarily continue to get the model, what you should do, practice the model. Practice the model. Practice the fucking model. until it works. Now, if you were to continue doing the third option over and over and over again, I could guarantee you, oh, and the other things also, not following the model and not believing in yourself, you will ultimately go about causing tilt, and the worst of it is not being able to come back from tilt. Having tilt as traders, it happens. It happens to the best of us. It really does happen to the best of us. But you really need to learn how to control your emotions. You really need to learn how to control your emotions to prevent tilt from consuming you enough to never want to be able to do this ever again. Because ultimately that's the end goal for tilt. Now, ultimately, what you're going to have to go ahead and do to get yourself into position to learn how to take a loss is to put yourself into positions that you can take a loss in. And I say that, put yourself into a more simulated versions of situations that you're able, that you have the potential to lose, in order to then help you learn how to take those losses. Because if you say, for an example, if you have $100 and you go into the live market and you say, I want to learn how to day trade here, I want to learn how to take a loss here, you're going to ultimately go ahead and A, lose $100, and B, not only that, but continue doing the exact same thing, which is insanity. You're going to ultimately want to go ahead and lose enough money to the point where you say, enough is enough, I want to quit, or enough is enough, I need to learn how to do this the right way.